Alex Eala clashes with Julia Grabher in a 2026 Linz opener. Both athletes entered the season on polar opposite paths during this historic Linz debut. Grabher's clay expertise might steal a set, but Eala should clinch it in 3. Tournament officials were blindsided despite Linz's 35-year run with the pros. They thought they'd seen everything until that fateful 7th of April. Grabher hit her home clay as a wildcard ranked 89th worldwide. The stage favored an Austrian upset with Eala, ranked 46th and struggling on dirt. It looked like a one-sided affair fueled by Grabher's fearless aggression. Massive Filipino crowds turned out, then Eala's shock victory shattered the narrative. Pinoy fans worldwide exploded online, making the victory feel like a global event. Live broadcast metrics later left everyone stunned as the data rolled in. This opening round match eclipsed every record to become the most watched ever. That isn't just hype. It's a cold hard fact from the official logs. We do deep dives here. The play-by-play analysis of her miracle win starts now. 19-year-old southpaw Alex Eala is officially the future of the pro circuit. Her mission is clear: dominate the tour and master the mental game. She recently shocked the world with a major semi-final run in Linz. This 500 event in Austria's third city isn't usually a media magnet. It's a professional no-frills arena that typically flies under the global radar. Over 3 decades of history never produced a shockwave quite like this one. It was a standard tournament setup with a €1 million prize pool. Everything changed when Eala and Grabher were drawn together in the first round. Linz suddenly caught fire because Grabher was never going to be an easy out. At 29 and ranked 89th, the veteran knew how to use every local edge. Playing on a wild card, she had the entire home crowd screaming for her. After a 2022 title and a 2023 final, she was a threat. She'd previously hit 54th in the world and won at the French Open. Despite a rough 2026 start, returning to clay was her big reset. Fresh off a tournament in Turkey, she arrived in Austria with rhythm. Labeling Eala's win as easy ignores the reality of Grabher's elite surface skills. This was a brutal opening match on a surface Eala hadn't yet mastered. Her previous clay season was a nightmare with 0 deep tournament runs. She'd fallen early in Huayras and struggled to find any momentum. A quick exit in Madrid suggested she was nowhere near a clay breakthrough. The pressure on this young star to perform in front of a sellout was immense. She's proud of the progress, but her eyes are strictly on a slam. Conversely, her 2026 hardcourt run pushed her to 29th worldwide. Quarterfinals in Dubai and deep runs in the United States proved her elite status. In Miami, she survived the 3-hour, 20-minute war against Siegmund. That win proved her grit, but a subsequent loss triggered a ranking freefall. Failing to defend her 2025 points caused a 16-spot drop by April. She wasn't rising, she was fighting a brutal ranking system that rewards consistency. To make matters worse, she hadn't played on clay since the previous year. This was her 2026 clay debut without a single warm-up match. She faced a local specialist on her favorite surface with 0 preparation. With over 10 million Filipinos living abroad and nearly 2 million in California alone, every time Alex Eala hits the court in 2026, her supporters mobilize with unmatched intensity. They are taking over every stadium in person and dominating every digital platform that streams her matches. In January, the Australian Open stuck her on a side court, leaving fans literally climbing the fences. Organizers were totally blindsided by the crowd. Later in Dubai, she sold out every single match she played. In the freezing midnight air of the California desert, hundreds of fans stayed late just to see her. A behind-the-scenes video of her at the tournament quickly became their most viral hit on YouTube. Even Novak Djokovic was stunned, calling this massive wave of support a good problem for the sport. Having a stadium this packed at any tournament is exactly what professional tennis needs right now. Andy Roddick described her sudden explosion onto the scene as the perfect shot in the arm for tennis. After their clash in Dubai, even Coco Gauff had to pause and acknowledge the pro-Eala atmosphere. "I know you're all here for Alex," Gauff told the crowd, "but playing in a full house is incredible. Now take that electric energy and drop it into Linz, a quiet, modest city in the heart of Europe." This sleepy Tuesday afternoon match was held in a venue that was never built for this kind of chaos. Linz had 0 experience handling this level of global hysteria for a routine first-round opening match. The digital infrastructure for a 500-level event was never meant to handle those massive streaming numbers. This specific matchup created a perfect storm that the WTA executives never saw coming on their charts. Julia Grabher brought the local Austrian pride and a home court advantage on her absolute favorite surface. Eala stepped out carrying the hopes of a global nation, watching from 10 different time zones. Two massive culturally different fan bases were suddenly locked into a high-stakes emotional battle on a Tuesday. It is officially Eala time. Her fans are literally planning their entire days around when she takes the court. Having a player like Alex is fantastic for the sport, especially since she spends so much time with fans. She stays late for every autograph and photo, showing the world what Filipino pride is all about. "I'm bringing my country's flag with me to every single corner of the globe," she says. "We saw massive viewership from China years ago, but this global diaspora effect is a brand new beast." Nothing in tennis history matches the unique collision that happened in Linz on April 7th. You had two massive distinct audiences colliding in a single first-round match at the exact same time. Every stat from her 2026 season suggested a viewership explosion that the WTA had no roadmap for. From sold-out nights in Dubai to overflowing courts in California, the momentum was clearly hitting a breaking point. Linz was the payoff, a Tuesday opener, pulling in numbers usually reserved for a major Grand Slam final. This is what separates this specific moment from every other milestone in Alex Eala's young career. Red clay is brutal for flat hitters who can't move, and Eala's game relies on pure precision. On this surface, the ball bounces higher and rallies turn into grueling physical tests of endurance. Her performance on the dirt in 2025 proved she hadn't quite figured out the surface yet. But crushing a clay specialist like Grabher in her own backyard shows that Eala has leveled up. That intense training camp at the Nadal Academy in Mallorca was clearly a game-changing move for her. She went to Spain specifically to master the movement patterns required to dominate on the red clay. This victory sets up a massive potential rematch with Jelena Ostapenko in the very next round. Eala currently holds a 2-0 lead over the hard-hitting Latvian from their matches in 2025. Facing a former French Open champion on clay will be the ultimate test of her new and improved game. The road only gets steeper from here, with major clay tournaments in Stuttgart and Madrid looming ahead. All eyes are now on Roland Garros in late May to see if Eala is a legitimate title contender. That idea seemed totally crazy 18 months ago, but today it feels like a very real possibility. While the media loves the fairy tale, the reality is that Eala is only 20 years old. Turning 21 this May, she carries the massive expectations of an entire nation on her young shoulders. A major breakthrough and a high-stakes semi-final, all weighing on one 20-year-old. Every point she plays carries a nation's hope. Every loss feels like a blow to Philippine tennis. This isn't just about rankings. The pressure she faces is something entirely different, something far more intense. She's been honest about the journey. After a marathon in Miami, she admitted she's still evolving beyond power. That's the talk of a player still building, not one who has already arrived. The gap to the top 10 is real, but her grit in Linz proves the foundation is growing. She's mastering the clay. Winning on her worst surface against a home crowd takes incredible mental toughness. That's a massive reveal. She isn't top 10 yet, but her following dwarfs those ranked far above. That divide between her rank and her global reach makes her the most compelling story in tennis. We dive deep for fans who need the context and history beneath every single match result. We bring the stakes TV ignores. If you want more than highlights, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Stuttgart and Madrid are next, and this channel will be there for every second of the action. Give us your Linz predictions. How far can she go, and does Ostapenko end the run?